Hello, good people of YouTube, Mountbatten here, and today I'm bringing you guys my first impressions review for the Tier 8 Premium Soviet Cruiser. 1 second.
Ochakov.
Alright, I'm just going to call it the Oki, because, whatever. Cute little nickname for it. So, the Oki, we have here a unmistakable light cruiser, unlike the Piotr Bagration, or the Bag, or whatever nickname you want to give it. Which is a mix of light and heavy cruiser. This is, so far from my general glance at it, a light cruiser. Even says in the description of the ship that this ship is designed for hunting down destroyers. So, sounds like a typical light cruiser. This ship looks awfully familiar though. No, I know what this is. Yep. Yep. Oh my god, it's a Smolensk. It's a freaking Smolensk. Does it have Smolensk's health pool? Well, yeah, let's take a gander at that. So 32,000 hit points of the Smolensk. Does this thing have... Okay, so it has 30,000. Okay. Let's take a look at its armor real quick. 25mm bow, 25mm upper belt, 70mm belt. 25mm stern. What's that? That's 25 as well for the steering gears room. 25mm stern deck, 27mm mid deck, and 25mm bow deck. And no icebreaker bow. Now the Smolensk, her armor, yeah. So it's pretty much the same as the Smolensk, except the armor's thicker. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Alright. So, survivability, again, 30,000 hit points, 30,200 hit points. So that's 10,000 less than the Bagration. And she has 8 152mm guns that reload in 6 seconds. They rotate in 13.8 seconds. They have a maximum dispersion, 141 meters. Oh, and of course, I don't have any modules or any captain skills applied yet. 12% chance of starting a fire on her target, less than the Bagration, but does of course have 6-second reload time instead of a 11-second reload time. 30mm of armor pin on her guns, a maximum AP shell damage of 3,300, maximum range of 15.6 kilometers base, 950 meters a second on her AP shells and on her HE shells as well. Okay, here are torpedoes. You get 2x5 torpedo tubes with a range of 8 kilometers. Again, an actual useful range, unlike most other Soviet cruisers. They reload in 131 seconds. They rotate in 7.2 seconds. Then they travel at 56 knots, so almost the exact same speed as the Bagration's torpedoes. And a maximum damage of 15,100. I believe that's actually more than the Bagration. And I'm comparing the two so much because they are both the new two Tier 8 Premium Soviet ships, and the Bagration's first impression video, a lot of people are asking me to compare it to the Oki, so I am doing that right now. With a 1.1 kilometer detection range. I forgot to mention that on the Bagration's video, but that is actually kind of a stealthy torpedo, especially for a cruiser. Alright, A defense is 63, so that's actually less than the Bagration. So that is very interesting. Max speed of 35 knots, turning a circle radius of 750 meters, and a rudder shift time of 8.2 seconds. With okay, I thought I saw the air, and I'm like, oh my god, I thought that was its surface detection range. No, its detection range by base is 11.2 kilometers, but its firing range is only 15 kilometers. So, pretty stealthy ship, but the firing range does kind of gimp that a bit. Alright. Let's see what she gets as far as equipment goes. So, radar. So she gets defensive fire, radar, and hydro, no heal, and no choice to swap out any of these consumables. That is, very interesting indeed. But again, a nice kit here with radar and hydro for hunting down destroyers. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, module her out. I think I might put my Smolensk captain on here, since this is kind of a Tier 8 Smolensk, but we shall see. Okay, so once again, the guns aren't small enough to take advantage of BFT and AFT, so I have put my linen captain of all things on here, and this guy's an absolute mess. Again, probably not the ideal build, but this is what we have. We have priority targets, preventive maintenance, MLG turrets, adrenaline rush, superintendent, BFT, and basics of survivability and concealment. So again, not an ideal build, but again, I didn't want to respect my Smolensk captain, and this is the next 19-point captain that I have, and I kind of throw him around most of my other Soviet premium ships. So probably not the ideal build, but this was the guy that had the most talents that this ship I think could take advantage of, such as priority target, adrenaline rush, superintendent for the extra radar. This will help out the AA a little bit because this is a tier 8 ship with a rather low AA rating, and I mean, we're going again to carrier games, and of course concealment expert. So the modules, I think we're going to go with the basic cruiser build here. We'll go with main armaments mod 1. Then we're going to go with engine room. Actually, no, we're going to go with damage con just because there's so much HE spam nowadays. And I think we are going to take ANG systems mod 1 here. And we're going to take propulsion for the throttle jukes, and of course concealment. Now this should be a really stealthy ship now. 9-kilometer detection range. That's pretty good. Alright, let me slap some signal flags on here, and then I'll see you guys in game. Hey guys, and yes, it's another one of these little sections. For those of you that don't know, the way these first impressions reviews are supposed to go is that I play about 4 games or about an hour's worth of games in the ship, and you guys get to see my genuine first impressions as I try to figure out the ship. But guess what happened? That first hour, 2 hours of playing, complete blowout matches again, just like with the Piotr, and it's frustrating because I do like to show you guys my genuine first impressions and me learning to play the ship, but I mean, I can't help what happens with that. But anyway, I did manage to get a pretty good game in. I wasn't, live recording at the time. I do have the replay here, and I'm going to let that play in the background. It shows a lot of the strengths and weaknesses of the ship, and I'm going to dive into some notes that I took down while playing the ship. So, first off, this is a Smolensk hull. It's the old Smolensk hull before she got the armor nerf. And the thing with that is the Smolensk hull before the nerf, at tier 10, the armor was bad. But it was so bad that it was actually kind of good because it was thin enough to where when you were broadside on to most ships with large guns, most battleships, super cruisers, and even some of the larger heavy cruisers in the game, they would overpin you and you wouldn't take full damage. So it was ironically bad yet good. Then they nerfed it down to where now you can kind of just delete the Smolensk from any angle if you have large caliber guns, but also now most heavy cruisers will overpin the thing. But the Aki down at tier 8 with the old Smolensk hull, the armor's just bad and you don't have a heal. So yeah, you can put 2 and 2 together there and see where that's going. So you have to deal with that on top of having no heal, and it really does feel like you get pinned from every angle by anything in this ship. If you guys remember, I put out a video around the time the Smolensk came out where I absolutely melted a Smolensk in the Friesland using just AP. I got I found it with 12, 13 citadels by the time it was all said and done with, and that's this hull. That's the Aki hull at tier 8. So this ship can get up to tier 10. It's the old Smolensk hull, and you don't have a heal. So yeah, that's not great. Okay, again, there's no smoke in it. You get radar and Hydra, but you don't get smoke. So you can't pop a smoke cloud like you could with Smolensk and hide or disengage. So that's another strike against it. But the guns are good. The HE and rate of fire, it's all good. You got a 13% chance of fire, and even if you take Demolition Expert, you can get up to 14%. With the fire rate, you'll be setting a good few fires if RNG blesses you. Now the AP, it hits hard, when it does bite on, because again, this is Soviet's AP. It's got the short fuse time, but the good pins, so you can do silly things with it. There's a clip in here that you will see me absolutely wrecking in Edinburgh's Day, so there's that. And the velocity and arcs are also very nice. It's very good for running down DDs. The fast velocity means obviously you don't have to lead the DD by a mile. It's a lot easier to aim. The arcs are nice and flat, so that's also very good for hunting down DDs. But you can't really camp over islands because the arcs are so flat, so you can't be an American light cruiser. But it has its pros and cons, and in my mind, it's more of a pro because this is supposed to be a ship for hunting down DDs, and I guess other light cruisers too with its AP. And again, you do get hydroacoustic search and radar, and it is Soviet radar with a 10-kilometer range at tier 8. That is very, very nice. The hydro is also very nice, so you can push into destroyer smokes and pop hydro or radar, or both if you want to be extra, and deal with those annoying little DDs. Another bad thing is its AA. Its AA with DFAA on, it is meh at best. And that's another thing about the armor of this ship, because it's so bad, CVs can just dunk on you. Now, the Smolensk, even though its armor's bad, it does have God tier AA because its guns are dual purpose, and I think, I didn't check, but I think the Akis are dual purpose too. Don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% sure. But Smolensks, of course, have 16 guns versus the Aki's 8, and, well, when you're missing those 16 dual-purpose guns and you only have 8, yeah, that's going to bring your AA down quite a lot. And in the match you're watching now, there was a Saipan on the enemy team, so that hurt even more. He chunks me for a good bit at the start of the game, and he comes back to me every now and then. But if he would have stayed on me, there's a very good chance that I wouldn't have survived halfway through this game. But he did lose his interest in me, thankfully. So there is that. And of course, it's a Soviet ship, so it has a giant turning circle. So anytime you're in a situation where you need to disengage or turn around, you are absolutely boned. You either have to hope that the enemy ship shooting at you has horrible aim, or if it's a ship with a long reload time like a super cruiser or a battleship, you have to you have to time the turn right in order to not get absolutely deleted. Now, the good thing is, if you're playing the ship right, you won't have to worry about turning while detected, because the ship does have a 9-kilometer detection range with full concealment build, and that is the saving grace of this ship. Now, of course, it's great. You can stop firing, go undetected, and get out of there. Or you can be sneaky and just choose to not engage and pick your targets. That's also very helpful. But if there's a carrier involved, all that's thrown out the window, because you don't have smoke, you can't hide from the carrier, and you're going to stay spotted, and you're going to get dunked on, and that was happening to me a whole lot in the Aki throughout my playthrough for this video, and it is frustrating, because, again, you don't have the AA to just tell the CV to go piss off. You don't. So, you're kind of stuck there. And also something I noticed, too, was that the engine, I don't know if it's just I just kept getting hit in the stern or what, but the engine gets knocked out a lot in this ship. And the Smolensk, admittedly, your vital components to get knocked out a lot too, but I'm just noticing it's more often than not in the Aki, the engine, a lot of times. It's not every salvo or every other salvo like the Swedish destroyers, but it is, I think, higher than average. At least for me, that could just been my experience in the Aki for this game, but, I don't know. Just want to throw that in there. Oh, and of course, 30mm pin without IFHE, and if you take IFHE, it's going to turn your 13% chance of a fire into a 7% chance of starting a fire. So obviously you don't want to take IFHE, so you're stuck with 30mm of pin, and at tier 8, everything's got 32mm of armor, most of the battleships and such. So if you're trying to farm battleships, like you can see, for a good portion of the video, I was trying to farm a Bismarck and then a North Carolina. Both have 32mm of armor everywhere. So you don't have the pins to pin that. You have to pray that you start fires or farm their superstructure. And once the superstructure becomes damage saturated, well, you kind of boned at that point. You just have to depend upon fires. So all in all, together, this ship, I would say give it a hard pass. Just from, I know it's just the first impressions video, and I don't normally make these recommendations, but just from my experience with it, it's really not worth it. In the match you're watching here, I had to do a whole lot of work, and I only got 90,000 damage out of it. This is a tier 8 match, so ideally this is the ideal point at which the ship should be performing. You know, because it should perform well at its tier. When it's top tier, say it's a tier 6 game, it should absolutely be phenomenal. And then when it's bottom tier in a tier 10 game, that's when it should struggle. So if I'm having to put in this much work in this match, I don't want to know what a tier 10 match is like in this ship. You don't have a heal, which it perplexes me. It behooves me that they don't give this ship a heal, but they gave the Piotr a heal, which has superior armor, better guns, and a superior health pool at the same tier, but Aki doesn't get a heal. I don't understand why this one doesn't get a heal, but the Piotr does. It doesn't make any sense. This is obviously the far more squishier ship, and it's, you know, you do you Wargaming, but that's a very confusing decision for me. But yeah, I would not recommend you get this ship. I'll have the second impressions video out in a couple of days. I don't think my mind's going to change all that much on the Aki, but we'll see. You know, it plays like your standard light cruiser. You go after destroyers, you farm battleships, you load AP on broadside light cruisers. I mean, it's all there. It's just not in a very good package, in my opinion. So yeah, I'd pass on this one. If you were interested in buying the Aki or the Piotr, I would definitely say go for the Piotr. It just seems to be the better ship from the few games I've played in them. But anyway, guys, I'll have second impressions videos on both those ships out in a few days. If you did enjoy the video, please drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. We're on our way to 15,000 subscribers, and we are approaching that goal quite quickly. We just passed 11,000 not that long ago, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. It's been an amazing time on the channel. Anyway, guys, hope you're staying safe and healthy during these times. I hope to catch you guys in the next one.